In a related development, former President Jimmy Carter said he believes President Trump actually lost the 2016 election, but Russian interference won him the White House anyway. Mr. Carter spoke in Virginia at a discussion on human rights. Historian John Meacham asked if that means he thinks the Trump presidency is, quote, illegitimate.
There's no doubt that the Russians did interfere in the election, and I think the interference, although not yet quantified, if fully investigated, would show that Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
In a 2017 report, U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Russia did interfere in the 2016 election to help Mr. Trump. They did not assess whether those actions affected the outcome. A scorching heat wave reached its peak today across parts of Europe, sending temperatures in France to an all-time high of 114 degrees. Heat alerts were posted across Italy, and in Spain, more than 700 firefighters battled a wildfire in Catalonia for a third straight day. We'll get more of the details after the news summary. Republican state senators in Oregon are ending a week-plus walkout against climate legislation. The bill called for cutting carbon emissions, but the absence of 11 Republicans denied the Senate a quorum to act. Majority Democrats have since acknowledged they lack the votes, even within their own ranks, to adopt the bill. In Charlottesville, Virginia, a federal judge sentenced an Ohio man to life in prison without parole today for plowing a car into protesters at a white nationalist rally in 2017. James Alex Fields is an avowed neo-Nazi supporter. He pled guilty to a hate crime for killing Heather Heyer and injuring more than 24 other people. A top Justice Department official said the punishment was fitting.
The bigotry and ideology of neo-Nazism, Nazism, white supremacy, and the Ku Klux Klan are a disgrace to this country, and illegal acts based on those should be eradicated from the United States. And the Department of Justice has been and will continue fully to prosecute anyone who commits or perpetuates hate crimes.
After the 2017 violence, President Trump drew heavy criticism when he said that both sides were to blame. Fields will be sentenced in state court on murder and other charges in mid-July. The U.S. Supreme Court will consider President Trump's attempts to end DACA, that is the Obama-era program that shields young migrants from deportation if they were brought into the U.S. illegally as children. The court announced today that it will hear arguments in the fall. For now, DACA protections remain in force. In Missouri, the only health clinic providing abortions has won another reprieve. A state hearing officer today allowed the St. Louis clinic to continue offering the service at least until August. The Planned Parenthood facility is fighting a state decision not to renew its license. Today marked 50 years since the Stonewall Uprising in New York City that galvanized the gay rights movement. In June 1969, a police raid on a gay club, the Stonewall Inn, sparked an uprising that turned into days of unrest and protests. Crowds gathered at the site today for rallies, parades, and performances that will run through the weekend. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 73 points to close at 26,600. The Nasdaq rose 38 points, and the S&P 500 added 16. Overall, the Dow had its best percentage gain for June since 1938, at more than 7%. The S&P 500 jumped nearly 7%, its best June since 1955. And the U.S. women's national soccer team is heading to the semifinals of the Women's World Cup. The Americans beat host France today, 2-1 in Paris. They face England in the semifinals on Tuesday. Still to come on the NewsHour, Europe grapples with the effects of a record-breaking heat wave. What the Democratic debates say about the future of the race for the White House. Why women decide to come forward or not after a sexual assault, and much more.